It's hiding in your kitchen right now. You consume it multiple times every single day without realizing it, and it's killing more people from heart disease than cigarettes and alcohol combined. It's not cholesterol, it's not salt. Harvard University followed over 120,000 people for 30 years, and what they discovered was absolutely alarming. This ingredient increases your risk of heart attack by 38%, stroke by 46%, and heart failure by 54%. What's most concerning is that 89 out of every 100 adults over 50 are consuming it daily without even knowing it. Food manufacturers hide it by using more than 60 different names on labels. 60 different names. And here's what really troubles me as a physician. It's even in products they're marketing to you as healthy. Over the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what this ingredient is, where it's hiding, what it does to your heart, and how to eliminate it from your life before it's too late. But first, I need you to understand something critically important. The information you're about to receive is backed by the most prestigious medical institutions in the world: Harvard, Stanford, the Mayo Clinic, Imperial College London. This isn't theory. This is science confirmed by over 100 studies published in top-tier medical journals. I've spent decades treating seniors, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, this is one of the most important conversations we can have about your health. According to the American Heart Association, cardiovascular disease is the #1 cause of death on the planet. Over 17 million people die each year from heart disease. In adults over 60 years old, 8 out of every 10 have at least one cardiovascular condition. Here's what most people don't understand. These deaths are not inevitable. They're not just genetics or bad luck. They're the direct result of something we've normalized in our diet over the last several decades. Cardiologists worldwide are unanimous about this. There is one ingredient that is more dangerous to your heart than any other single factor in your diet. And in just a moment, I'm going to reveal exactly what it is. But before I do, let me outline what you're going to learn today. First, I'll explain what this ingredient is and why medical experts consider it so devastating to your heart. Second, I'll show you the 60 names the food industry uses to disguise it on labels, so you keep buying it. Third, I'll reveal 10 foods they market as healthy that are actually loaded with this ingredient. Fourth, I'll explain the exact mechanism of how it destroys your heart at the cellular level. And finally, I'll give you a practical 4-week action plan to eliminate it completely from your life. If you're over 50, if you're concerned about your cardiovascular health, or if you simply want to live more years with quality and vigor, what you're about to learn could literally change your life. So let's get to the revelation. The ingredient we're talking about is added sugar, specifically processed fructose in the form of high-fructose corn syrup and refined sugars. Now, before you think, I already know this, let me explain why this goes far deeper than what you've probably been told. We're not talking about the natural sugar in an apple or an orange. We're talking about sugar that the food industry deliberately adds to thousands of products, including many that don't even taste sweet: white bread, tomato sauce, salad dressings, deli turkey. They're putting added sugar in foods you would never expect. In 2014, a massive study published in JAMA Internal Medicine followed over 31,000 adults for 15 years. The results were devastating. People who obtained 25% or more of their daily calories from added sugar had almost 3 times the probability of dying from heart disease compared to those consuming less than 10%. Think about that. 3 times the risk. But here's the problem. Most people don't even know how much added sugar they're consuming. The average adult consumes 77 grams of added sugar every single day. That's 19 teaspoons. The World Health Organization recommends no more than 25 grams daily. That's 6 teaspoons. The majority of you are consuming more than triple the safe amount every day without even knowing it. Now, you might be wondering, why is added sugar worse than cholesterol or salt? Here's the answer that cardiologists understand, but few explain clearly. Added sugar doesn't just make you gain weight. It does 4 devastating things simultaneously, all at once. First, it skyrockets your triglycerides. Triglycerides are fats circulating in your blood that clog your arteries. A study from the University of California demonstrated that consuming just 75 grams of sugar daily, that's 1 large soda, increases triglycerides by 32% in just 2 weeks. 2 weeks, that's all it takes. Second, it destroys your HDL cholesterol, the good cholesterol. HDL is what cleans your arteries. Sugar reduces it by up to 23%, according to a 2020 meta-analysis. Less HDL means clogged arteries. Third, and this might surprise you, it raises your blood pressure more than salt does. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but it's confirmed by research. A study in the British Journal of Nutrition proved that reducing sugar lowers blood pressure better than reducing salt. Better. And fourth, it causes chronic inflammation in your arteries. Sugar activates genes that generate inflammation throughout your body. This inflammation ruptures the fat plaques already sitting in your arteries, creating blood clots. Those clots travel to your heart or your brain. The result? Heart attack or stroke. A Harvard study following over 88,000 women found that those drinking 2 or more sugary beverages daily had 35% greater risk of heart disease. Dr. Robert Lustig, an endocrinologist at UC San Francisco, put it clearly in his research published in the journal Nature. He said, and I quote, "Sugar is toxic. It's not just empty calories, it's metabolic poison that causes heart disease as predictably as tobacco causes lung cancer." That's what the science has confirmed repeatedly. But here comes what troubles me most, and you need to know this right now. The food industry knows perfectly well that sugar is harmful. That's why they do something brilliant and deeply troubling at the same time. They hide it. Using a legal loophole, they can use more than 60 different names for sugar on labels. They do this deliberately, so sugar doesn't appear as the first ingredient. Let me give you a real example. A popular granola bar marketed as healthy has on its label brown sugar, corn syrup, honey, molasses, fruit juice concentrate, and dextrose. That's 6 different types of sugar in one product. But because they're listed separately, sugar doesn't appear first. Most people never notice. It's ingenious and it's dangerous. Now, pay close attention because I'm going to give you the names you need to memorize and watch for on every label. First, all syrups are concentrated sugar. Corn syrup, high-fructose corn syrup, rice syrup, brown rice syrup, malt syrup, maple syrup, and agave syrup. Agave syrup is particularly deceptive. They market it as healthy and natural. The reality? It's 90% pure fructose, worse than high-fructose corn syrup. Second, any word ending in OC is sugar. Dextrose, fructose, glucose, lactose, maltose, sucrose, galactose. Every single one. Third, concentrates and nectars. Fruit juice concentrate, grape juice concentrate, agave nectar, coconut nectar. Don't be fooled by the word natural. Fourth, the ones that sound natural. Honey, molasses, panela, piloncillo, cane crystals, evaporated cane juice. And fifth, the most deceptive, coconut sugar, which they sell as low glycemic index, but it's still sugar. Turbinado sugar, which is just refined sugar with molasses added, still the same damage. A study from the University of North Carolina analyzed over 61,000 packaged products. 74 out of every 100 contained added sugar under one or more of these names. Products marketed to children were even worse. 85 out of 100 had added sugar. Here's the rule every cardiologist would tell you if they had 5 minutes with you. If a product has more than 5 ingredients, or if any of these sugar names appear in the first 3 ingredients of the list, don't buy it. Period. Your heart doesn't distinguish between organic coconut sugar and high-fructose corn syrup. To your arteries, they cause the same damage. But wait, because what comes next is even more important. There are foods you're buying thinking they're healthy, thinking they're helping you, when in reality they're loaded with this ingredient. This is the part that troubles me most as a healthcare professional. These are foods the industry markets as healthy, natural, or good for your heart, while they're actually destroying your cardiovascular health. Let me walk you through 10 major culprits. Trap food number 1, low-fat yogurt with fruit. A 170-gram serving of low-fat yogurt contains, on average, 24 grams of added sugar. That's nearly the entire daily limit recommended by the World Health Organization in a single container. Why? Because when they remove the fat, yogurt tastes terrible, so they compensate by loading it with sugar. My recommendation? Buy plain Greek yogurt without any sugar and add your own fresh fruit. Trap food number 2, granola bars and energy bars. They're marketed to you as healthy snacks. The reality? An average bar contains between 12 and 18 grams of sugar. Many have more sugar than a chocolate bar. When you read the label, you'll see corn syrup, honey, brown sugar, molasses, all of it together. They're desserts in disguise. Trap food number 3, 100% natural fruit juice. A 250 milliliter glass of natural orange juice contains 21 grams of sugar. Yes, it's fruit sugar, but when you extract the juice, you eliminate the fiber that normally slows absorption. What happens? Your liver gets a massive hit of fructose all at once. A 2019 study published in JAMA Network Open found that fruit juice increases the risk of death from heart disease just as much as sugary sodas. Let me repeat that because it's important. Fruit juice is as harmful as regular soda pop. Trap food number 4, whole grain breakfast cereals. Many whole grain cereals contain between 10 and 15 grams of sugar per serving. And let's be honest, nobody eats just one serving. Some cereals have more sugar than sweet cookies. If sugar appears in the first 3 ingredients, it's basically dessert for breakfast. Trap food number 5, low-fat sauces and dressings. Barbecue sauce, teriyaki sauce, ketchup, low-fat salad dressing. 1 tablespoon of ketchup contains 4 grams of sugar. 1 serving of low-fat dressing can contain 8 to 12 grams. Why? Without fat, there's no flavor, so they load it with sugar. Trap food number 6, whole wheat or multigrain bread. Many commercial whole grain breads contain 3 to 5 grams of sugar per slice. 2 slices for a sandwich gives you 10 grams of sugar before you even add the filling. Plus, bread starch converts rapidly to glucose. That's a double hit to your system. Trap food number 7, sports drinks and flavored waters. A typical sports drink bottle contains 34 grams of sugar. Vitamin-enhanced waters contain 10 to 20 grams. Unless you're an elite athlete training intensively, these are just liquid sugar. Trap food number 8, dried fruits. Dried fruits concentrate the sugar. A quarter cup of raisins contains 29 grams of sugar. Commercial trail mix adds chocolate, sugary yogurt, and more. They look like healthy snacks. They're concentrated sugar bombs. Trap food number 9, flavored plant-based milks. Almond milk, vanilla, oat milk, chocolate, rice milk, caramel. The flavored versions contain 10 to 16 grams of added sugar per glass. Buy only the unsweetened versions and add your own flavor with natural vanilla extract or cinnamon. Trap food number 10, protein and fitness products. Pre-made protein shakes, protein bars, fitness cookies. Many contain 15 to 25 grams of sugar. The fitness industry sells you sugar with a little protein added and charges you double for it. A recent analysis of products with health claims on the packaging, natural, low-fat, whole grain, found that 80 out of every 100 had sugar levels classified as high by the World Health Organization. The lesson is crystal clear. Don't trust the marketing on the package. Read the nutrition label. If it has more than 8 grams of sugar per serving, leave it on the shelf. Now that you know where this ingredient is hiding, you need to understand something crucial. You need to know exactly what it's doing to your heart right now, at this very moment. Let me explain the mechanism of what happens inside your body when you consume added sugar. This is pure science, and it's alarming. Step 1. The glucose and fructose surge. When you eat added sugar, especially in beverages or processed foods without fiber, your digestive system absorbs it at extreme speed. Your bloodstream floods with glucose and fructose. Your pancreas responds by releasing a massive wave of insulin to pull glucose out of your blood. This repeated insulin spike, happening multiple times daily for years, causes insulin resistance. Step 2. Your liver gets overwhelmed. Here's what most people don't know. Fructose cannot be used directly by your cells. It must first go to your liver to be processed. When you bombard your liver with concentrated fructose from added sugar, your liver converts it to fat, specifically triglycerides and VLDL cholesterol, the most dangerous kind. A study from the University of Zurich showed that just 7 days of high fructose consumption increases liver fat production by 142%. That fat enters directly into your bloodstream. Step 3. Your arteries come under attack. Now you have elevated triglycerides circulating through your body. These deposit in your artery walls, forming plaques. But there's more. Sugar causes a process called glycation. The sugar literally adheres to the proteins in your arteries, making them rigid and prone to damage. It's like caramelizing your arteries from the inside. A study published in Circulation found that high sugar consumption increases arterial stiffness 30% more than any other dietary factor. Step 4. Systemic inflammation. Sugar activates inflammatory genes throughout your entire body, especially in the cells that line your arteries. This chronic inflammation makes the fat plaques in your arteries unstable. When an unstable plaque ruptures, it forms a blood clot. That clot travels to your heart attack, or to your brain, stroke. A study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed 70,000 women for 18 years. Those with the highest levels of inflammatory markers caused by sugar had 3.5 times greater risk of heart disease. Step 5. Elevated blood pressure. Excess sugar stimulates your nervous system, increasing your heart rate and constricting your blood vessels. Additionally, the high insulin caused by sugar makes your kidneys retain sodium, raising blood pressure even further. The complete cycle looks like this. Sugar leads to insulin spikes, which leads to insulin resistance, which leads to fatty liver, which leads to high triglycerides, which leads to plaques in your arteries, which leads to inflammation, which leads to arterial stiffness, which leads to high blood pressure, which leads to blood clots, which leads to heart attack or stroke. Dr. Rachel Johnson, a professor of nutrition at the University of Vermont and former president of the American Heart Association, summed it up perfectly. She said, and I quote, "If there is a single dietary change that could prevent more heart disease deaths than any other, it would be eliminating added sugar from our diet." That's the destructive power of sugar. You're consuming it multiple times every day, probably without knowing it. But here's the good news. You can reverse this damage, and I'm going to show you exactly how. This is the most important part. How to eliminate added sugar from your life in a practical and sustainable way. I'm not going to lie to you, it's not easy. Sugar is literally addictive. Functional MRI studies show that it activates the same reward centers in your brain as drugs do. But it's possible. Thousands of people have done it, and so can you. Week 1. Identification. For 7 days, photograph everything you eat and drink. At the end of each day, check the labels and write down how many grams of added sugar you consumed. Look for added sugars in the nutrition facts label. If they're not separated out, look for any of the 60 names I mentioned earlier. Identify your 3 main sources of sugar. Is it your morning coffee, the yogurt, the sodas, the dessert? The goal of week 1 is simply observation. Don't try to change anything yet. Knowledge is power. Week 2. Eliminate sugary beverages. This is the single most impactful action you can take. Sugary beverages are the #1 source of added sugar in adults. Eliminate completely all sugary drinks for 7 days. All of them. Sodas, juices, sweetened coffee or tea, sports drinks, flavored waters. Replace them with water. If plain water seems boring, add slices of lemon, cucumber, or fresh mint. Try unsweetened green or black tea, black coffee or coffee with unsweetened milk, carbonated mineral water. A study from Virginia Tech found that people who eliminated sugary beverages for just 2 weeks lost an average of 1.5 kilograms and reduced their triglycerides by 23%. Week 3. Transform your breakfasts and snacks. Heart-healthy breakfasts include eggs prepared any way with vegetables, plain Greek yogurt with nuts and a small portion of berries, traditional oatmeal, not instant, with cinnamon and nuts, avocado on whole grain bread with no added sugar. For snacks, have a small handful of nuts or almonds, raw vegetables with hummus, cheese with cherry tomatoes, a hard-boiled egg, avocado with salt and lime. Week 4. Cook your main meals. Cook at home at least 5 dinners this week using whole foods with no added sugar. Here's the golden rule. If it has a label with more than 5 ingredients, it probably has added sugar. Cook with individual ingredients: meat, fish, vegetables, legumes, true whole grains. Basic structure: grilled or baked protein, chicken, fish, or lean meat, roasted or steamed vegetables, a large salad with homemade vinaigrette made from olive oil, vinegar, and mustard, whole grains like brown rice or quinoa in small portions. Now I need to warn you about something important. During the first 2 weeks, you might experience headaches, irritability, intense cravings, and fatigue. This is normal. It's real withdrawal syndrome. A 2018 study confirmed that 87 out of 100 people who eliminate sugar experience symptoms similar to stopping caffeine. Strategies to manage cravings. Drink water when you crave something sweet. Eat a meal rich in protein and healthy fat. Take a 10-minute walk to shift your mental focus. Eat a small portion of whole fruit if necessary. Sleep 7 to 8 hours nightly. Lack of sleep increases cravings by 40%. After 4 weeks, studies show that cravings reduce by 70 to 80%. Energy levels improve, sleep improves, blood pressure drops, triglycerides reduce significantly, body weight decreases, especially abdominal fat, and most importantly, your risk of heart disease begins to descend immediately. To maintain this long term, you don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. Follow the 90-10 rule. 90% of the time, eat without added sugar, and 10% of the time, on birthdays or celebrations, allow yourself flexibility without guilt. Your heart will thank you for decades to come. Now let me clarify the safe alternatives and the traps you must avoid. Safe alternatives used with moderation. Pure stevia is an extract from the stevia plant. Studies show it doesn't affect blood glucose or insulin levels, but buy pure stevia 100%. Avoid blends that hide dextrose or maltodextrin. Erythritol is a sugar alcohol that your body doesn't metabolize. It passes straight through without affecting glucose. In moderate amounts, less than 50 grams daily, it's safe. Monk fruit is a natural sweetener from an Asian fruit. 0 calories, doesn't affect glucose. When you need something sweet, eat whole fruit. The fiber slows absorption. Best options are berries, green apple, pear. Disguised traps to avoid. Honey has antioxidants, yes, but it's still 80% sugar. Your heart doesn't recognize antioxidants when it's being bombarded with fructose. Use it minimally. Agave syrup is marketed as low glycemic index. The reality is 90% pure fructose, worse than high-fructose corn syrup. Avoid it completely. Coconut sugar is brilliant marketing. The reality is 75% sucrose. To your heart, it's the same as regular cane sugar. It's identical. Pure maple syrup is natural, yes, but it's 67% sucrose. 1 tablespoon contains 12 grams of sugar. The best long-term strategy is to retrain your palate. For decades, the sugar industry has hijacked your taste buds, so everything needs to be sweet. You can reverse this. A study from the University of Washington found that after 3 months without added sugar, 92 out of 100 participants reported that previously normal foods now tasted too sweet. Their palates had resensitized. Your goal is to reach the point where an apple tastes incredibly sweet to you. When you get there, you've won. Let me recap the points that could save your life. The ingredient: added sugar, especially processed fructose, more dangerous to your heart than cholesterol or salt. The damage: increases triglycerides 32% in 2 weeks, reduces good cholesterol 23%, raises blood pressure more than salt, causes chronic arterial inflammation, 38% greater risk of heart death for every 5% of calories from sugar. Where it hides: more than 60 different names on labels, 74 out of 100 packaged products, 10 supposedly healthy foods that are actually traps. The mechanism: sugar leads to high insulin, leads to fatty liver, leads to triglycerides, leads to plaques, leads to inflammation, leads to blood clots, leads to heart attack. Your plan: Week 1, identify. Week 2, eliminate sugary beverages. Week 3, transform breakfast and snacks. Week 4, cook whole meals. Safe limit: maximum 25 grams of added sugar daily, ideally 0. Safe alternatives: pure stevia, erythritol, monk fruit, used with moderation. Traps to avoid: honey, agave, coconut sugar, same damage. The final truth: you don't need added sugar to live. Your ancestors lived without it for 200,000 years. You can too, and your heart will reward you with decades of extra life. Before you go, I need you to do something that could save your life or the life of someone you love. If this information impacted you, share it. That simple gesture helps this message reach millions of people consuming this ingredient every day without knowing it. You could literally save lives with one click. Subscribe to my channel for more serious, evidence-based medical information about cardiovascular health and nutrition. No sensationalism, no miracle products, just science. Write in the comments your commitment. Say, I'm eliminating added sugar today, and the date. Public commitment increases your adherence by 300%. Also tell me, which supposedly healthy food surprised you the most? Share this video now. Think of 3 people, your spouse, your best friend, your sibling. Send them this link via text or email. I'm not exaggerating when I say you could prevent a heart attack or stroke in someone you love. Here's my personal promise. If you follow the 4-week plan, if you eliminate added sugar from your diet, in 30 days you'll see measurable changes. Lower blood pressure, significantly reduced triglycerides, more energy, better sleep. You'll be taking the most important steps to prevent a heart attack or stroke in your future. Thousands of people have already done it. Now it's your turn. The food industry is counting on you ignoring this information. They're counting on you continuing to buy their products because it's convenient, because it tastes good, because everyone else does. But now you have knowledge, and knowledge gives you the power to choose. You can choose to live 10, 20, 30 more years with a healthy heart. Or you can keep consuming this until it's too late. The choice is yours, but make it today. Not tomorrow, not Monday, today. Your heart has been beating non-stop since before you were born. It's pumped millions of liters of blood. It's kept you alive every single second of your life. Now it's your turn to take care of it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for valuing your health. I'll see you in the next presentation. Take care of your heart.